Hey, so I just want to go over a quick example of how to use the distance function. Inside here, inside the example provided on our site, I have this code set up so that when your mouse hovers over the circle, you will see that it is going to turn to a different color. And that's done through both an if statement and through knowing the specific x and y coordinates of an object. And so I'm just going to walk through how this works through a new sketch. So file, new. And I'm going to start off by creating an ellipse at x and y. And I'm going to make those variables in a second and give it a specific diameter. And so I'm going to come above it and go let x equal width divided by 2. Let y equal height divided by 2, and let d equal, we'll do 100. And when I draw this, you'll see that x goes here, y goes here, and d goes here. And so I've just simply drawn a quick square, or a quick circle. And if I want to know where my mouse is, I could do something like ellipse mouse x, mouse y, and give it a diameter of 5. And maybe I'll do a fill of this one with 0 and a fill of this one with white, just so we can see the difference. So right now you can see that my mouse, and let's put this afterwards so we can see it on top. Maybe increase this a tiny bit. When my mouse is moving around, it has this little circle attached to it. And so what I want to do is change something about my white circle when my mouse is near it. And so I need to know where each of those actually are on my screen. And because I have an x and a y for my ellipse, now what I can do is figure out the distance using the dist function. So I'm going to come down here, or actually above my two shapes, and say let distance. So I need to make a new variable. And then I'm going to use dist, which takes two x and y coordinates. So if we look at the reference, dist is xy1 and xy2. And so I'm going to do dist x and y, which is the width and the height, and then mouse x and mouse y. And let's just print that to the terminal to see what that looks like. So now when I'm on the screen, you can see that as I get closer, it's actually going to go super low. You can see that when I'm in the very center, it gets down to about 0. When I move further away, it's going to change, and it's always going to be a positive number here between the two distances. So what I could do is then make an if statement to change this. So I could say if distance is less than the diameter, and remember the diameter of my circle is 100, then do something. And so I might say just do a stroke weight of 5. And this is probably going to do a stroke weight on my mouse circle, but that's okay. When I see this, and now it's gone. I don't have a case to turn this back off, so I need an else to come afterwards and do stroke weight 3, or let's do stroke weight 1. Close it back off, shift tab. So this is saying if the distance here is less than our diameter, so it's inside the bounds, then make a change. And let's turn this print off just so it runs a little bit faster. And so now when I'm inside, it'll change. When I'm out, it won't. So you can see as soon as I step outside here, so here's what's happening. I have said distance is less than d, but I actually want to do d divided by 2 because I want the diameter, or I want the radius. So now you see when I'm on that line, because d is all the way distance from across here, I want from this point to here, which is the radius. So now you see. And a better way to work with this would actually be to create a variable instead of applying the whole stroke weight. So I might say let SW equal 0 equal like 1 here. And actually what I'd want to do is initialize this as a global variable. So let SW equal 1. I would want to set my stroke weight to be SW, because this is the circle that I'm drawing, and give this a stroke of 0. And here I'm going to turn off no stroke, so that way I don't have a stroke on my mouse X element. And when I run this again, now we'll see when I hover inside, I will get a thicker stroke. Now, if this shape was moving, so if I said I would need to move these to setup so that way they're not static, or actually let's move these out up here, and I can't use width divided by 2 or height divided by 2 outside. 200. And then if I updated here, so x equals x plus 1, then even when it's moving, it'll still be applied because it knows where the x position is. All right. So these are some basics in terms of working with distance. Of course, if I would want to apply this to a class, I would need to make these elements within the class, and I'll show that in the next video.